Hello and welcome to my diary section today with me, Reto Lulu or Reto Lu Squared. Okay, so I'm gonna start by ushering you into the new year. Happy New Year! It's 2021. We are alive, we're healthy, we're not sick, we're not in the hospitals. It's everything to be grateful for. We're really grateful, and it's already the 11th day of January 2021. Can you beat that? Can you imagine? January is not as slow as it used to be anymore. January is now fast. That means you need to put yourself together for this year already. So, on today's topic, I want to talk about locations you should consider when it comes to real estate investment, the trending locations you should look into when it comes to real estate investment. So, I'm going to go back about 30 years or 35 years. I want to put up a story about 30, 35 years back. So can draw our mind back from where we're coming from, draw our mind into the story or into what the topic I want to talk about. About 30 to 35 years ago, axes like Ikeja, Agege, Iju, Surulere, Festac, Egbeda, those places were the in places. Like if you visit Lagos and you've not been to these axes, that means you've actually not visited Lagos. And then places like Victoria Island, the now Lekki Phase 1, Ikoyi, all these axes were not all that developed. They were still bushy, they still had a lot of water around, they still have the lagoon eating up part of it, part of the location. And what happened? What happened? How come the Lekki Phase 1, Ikoyi, and Victoria Island, Aja axis all blossomed to this extent? Simple. Migration. Now, what causes migration? When a particular axis has a high density, right? High density of population, right? The next places, let's go to somewhere else. The next thought is let's go to somewhere else where there's not so much density, where we could actually breathe fresh air, where we could actually have new opportunities to key into, to blossom into businesses. And that's how development starts. With the help of the government as well, as of course, because the government have to set out their plans, the blueprints of what they have planned of a particular estate, particular state, and then migration tends to move towards that direction. Then, when the government was talking about, trying to do something on Victoria Island, the Ikoyi axis, the Lekki Phase 1 now, then Morocco axis, okay? If a couple of people keyed into it and then they decided to say, okay, let's see if we could invest in this axis while we're still here in the Ikeja and Agege axis. And then they started, those risk takers, those visionaries, investors, they started buying those land. That's how then they were buying this land way cheaper than what you could ever imagine. They bought some for like 500,000, some bought it for 150,000, 350,000. There's so many stories out there on how people keyed in back then for as little as 350,000, 150,000 naira, 500,000 naira. And then over time, it started increasing from 500,000 to 1 million naira. At least then, even the Morocco axis, which is now Lekki Phase 1, sold for 1 million naira as at then. Most of the parts of Lekki Phase 1 was water. And then it graduated to VGC, Victoria Garden City in Lekki, towards axis of Aja, that started selling for 1 million naira. VGC, part of it was actually water. Now, those people who keyed in then, right now, something years later, they're the ones reaping. Some of them then, they didn't just buy one, they bought multiple plots, different locations, okay? And then right now, they're reaping the fruits. Because a plot of land in VGC, Victoria Garden City, which is still farther from the Lekki Phase 1 axis, about 25 minutes away from Lekki Phase 1 axis, about 20 minutes, depending on the traffic you meet on the road anyways. Sells for like 5 million, 80 million, 100 million, depending on the location right inside the estate. The forefront plots are way expensive compared to the plots inside of the way inside of the estate, or towards the extreme of the estate. What does that tell you? It simply tells you that long-term investment pays you more when it comes to real estate investment. Long-term investment, that is where you become that's when your worth increases, when you have more of long-term investment. Short-term investment and mid-term investment are not bad as well. It depends on what is your buying capacity. If you're going for a short-term investment, that means your buying capacity has to be high. And if you're going for a mid-term investment, that means your buying capacity as well, it needs to be average. Do you understand? But if you're going for a long-term investment, that means your buying capacity, might be low. Okay, and when I mean low, it doesn't have to go all the way to 100,000 naira. No. Now, so today I want to talk about the locations you should consider when it comes to short-term investment and mid-term investment, and as well as long-term investment, so that you reap as much as those who invested some years ago, 30 something years ago, 20 something years ago, towards the Lekki Phase 1 and Ajah axis, and are now reaping it. Okay, so I'm going to mention one. The Ogombo axis. Ogombo axis is where you have the Abraham Adesanya. That road to your right, if you're coming from Lekki Phase 1, the road to your right, all the way down, they are still affordable. The further plots in front are about 30 something million, 20 something million. But if you're able to go a bit down, you could get something way affordable. We actually have one beautiful estate there, Meridian Boulevard, that is still selling around prices of 12 million, between 12 million to 15 million naira per plot, with a good title of CFO. And then the second axis has to be the Ajah axis. That's after the turning to your right, you go further a bit. That's where you have the Lagos Business School and Lagos Business School majorly, the landmark there. But the truth is, lands are almost gone there. For you to find a plot there, you find for 28 million naira. We have an estate that released plots of land for sale, 500 square meter for at 28 million naira, which is about the cheapest on that axis. With just a 1 minute walk to the express, and it's sold out within 2 months. Okay, and then we have the third axis, which is Shango Tedo axis. Basically, I have to tell you the truth, Shango Tedo axis lands are basically finished. They are like finished. Like if you find a land available at the moment, you find it for way much high, and the size of the plot will be definitely reduced. And then let's going down to Abidjan. There's this estate we sold, then released it within the period of 1 month. The land sold out because Abidjan is the next point. We have Ajah, we have Shango Tedo, and then the next community or next location is Abidjan. Abidjan town, Abidjan GRA, lands are basically sold out on that axis. The next point is Awoyaya. The next location is Awoyaya. Awoyaya is just after Abidjan, shares a boundary with Abidjan. Okay, and Awoyaya basically have an estate there that's currently selling for 13 million naira with title C of O. Okay, and then the next point we have Lakwe. Barely get lands, you barely have lands on Lakwe axis. And then the next point you're going to is the Bokije. Bokije, lucky enough, we have a beautiful estate located inside an estate, inside a beachwood estate. Beachwood estate is a popular estate. It's along the express, beautiful terrain, nice architectural designs of structures, and then it has a good title of CFO. We have another one there called the Paldini Estate, and then Paldini Estate, we have Westbury Homes. They're all selling between the range of 13 to 15 million naira, all inclusive. Now the difference is that the sizes of plots is 600 square meter. Okay, and then you would ask me, well, how come the one at the Oribanwa Awoyaya is selling for 13 million naira? Is because the size there is 500 square meters. So the closer it is to development, the smaller the size and the more expensive it becomes. So Bokije, and then you're getting to Eleko. I have there's a new estate there that is beautiful, way beautiful, that you could get for 50 million naira. It's a government allocation, CFO. It's on the left hand side of Eleko. Before you get to the Eleko junction, there's a popular Eleko junction that continues to the Lekki Free Zone axis and then straight up leads you to Ekpe. And then another location that people don't even really pay attention to at the moment is Ekpe. Now Ekpe is the next stop, the next point where investors should be looking at, because the Lekki local government is about getting it's populated already. The lands are selling out already. We already have not just lands, we already have structures there coming up. We recently have sold out an estate, beachfront parks and garden phase 2, that sold out with title excision. Okay, and it's sold out. It's on Lekki Coastal Road. And then if it comes to the Lekki Free Zone axis, the Lekki Free Zone, the lands are basically almost finished there. What you can find there is a commercial land. Commercial for that's commercial purposes, for business purposes, and not for residential, because it's basically on the express, on the Lekki Free Trade Zone axis, and it has C of O as title. So that's on the Lekki Free Trade Zone axis. So lands are almost done at the Lekki Free Trade Zone axis, on the Eleko axis, the Bogije, the Lakwe axis. So it's just a matter of time before you try to get a land on the Lekki Free Trade Zone axis, the Eleko, the Bogije, the Lakwe axis, and then you won't get. The next point will be Ekpe. So Ekpe is a beautiful city that most of the lands there are actually freehold. Freehold means that they are free from every known government acquisition, and you can process your titles up to C of O, and you can actually start building if you hope to. So we have several estates in Ekpe. So these are the trendy locations you should consider according to your buying capacity, according to your reason of getting that into the investment. Like I like to find out from clients or prospects what they intend to achieve with their investment. Are you looking at a long-term plan? Are you looking at a short-term plan, a mid-term plan, somewhere you could short-term plan, somewhere you could buy today and start building next week, mid-term plan, somewhere you could buy today and then the next 1-2 years you start building. We can hope the access is developed. And then long-term plan is somewhere you could buy and hold for some years, between a period of 7 to 10 years, and then you get to repeat a whole lot, because long-term plan is always better when it comes to investment. So I would leave by saying, if you have more questions, if you have more inquiries to do, I'm going to be dropping numbers, WhatsApp number, mobile number, email address that you could reach us on. And if you have any more questions, you can ask us. So from Wednesday, we're posting these different estates that we mentioned where you should put your money into. You should I will be putting up a video of these different locations so you could have a preview or total understanding of what this axis look like and why you should invest in this axis. For one, they all have beautiful title, so when it comes to title, you don't have a problem with that. And then secondly, most of them have dry lands, and thirdly, all of them will give you exponential return on investment of your money. So thank you for joining. If you're a first time watcher or a first time you just bumped into my video, somehow referred to this video, kindly click the subscribe button, follow us for more details. If you love this video, please give it a thumbs up, okay? And if you have any more questions, leave it in the comment section and let's answer up and get you started. Have a beautiful 2021, and don't forget, for you to achieve this year, achieve greater heights this year, you need to set a plan. What is your plan? Set that goal, okay, and have strategies to achieve them. I'm signing out. My name remains Reta Lulu Squared or Reta Lulu. Do have a lovely day. Bye.